upper part of the right hand starts into phrase 2 of theme 1, or da 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 dee da dee da dee, while the left hand, or the bottom of the right hand, seems like it's going to repeat phrase 3 again, but it doesn't quite. So the right hand alone, starting at the second beat of measure 113. So you hear this pounding A, and it has stress marks under it, so it should sound like it's supposed to repeat. But then the phrase 2 comes out over top. And then the left hand comes in, and then the right hand, and it just keeps getting passed back and forth like that for quite a while. We start getting into 2 against 3 here, which is very common between all 5 movements. And this theme is also the long, long, short type of short, short, long. Is that what I said, or did I say long, long, short? I meant short, short, long. It gets passed around some more. Measure 129 begins the closing, and it's very chromatic and modulatory. As you can see, like 132, 3, 4. At 134, the right hand in the top, we have a descending chromatic line with the B flat, A flat, G, and so forth. And do I have anything else written here? Okay, so the end, 46, 47, 48, 49, measure 49 and 50. So we're heading towards this huge kind of climax, and then it gets really quiet. I can't play this, I'm sorry, so listen to it. And find a good recording, because it's so thick that it's very easy to get the melody buried underneath the texture. So if you find one that you can hear what's the important notes, a lot like Rachmaninoff, right? Anyway, so yeah, at the end of the exposition, we just get this big 5-1 cadence in E flat, and it's held for a long time, and it's a very clear section mark. This is the end of something. It almost sounds like the end of the whole movement, and it's not completely uncommon for a movement to start in C minor and end in like the third or whatever. Thinking of like Chopin's B flat minor scherzo, ends in D flat major. So anyway, the development starts at 151 and starts in kind of E flat, and it starts with phrase 1 from theme 1, like the beginning. And it starts all by itself in the bass, so it sounds like it's almost going to be a fugue. And then the right hand comes in with the phrase, all the same thing, but yeah, and it's even the same key. All while the left hand's still taking phrase 3 again, or phrase 3 this time, the inversion. Phrase 2 comes in the right hand at measure 162. What am I doing? I hopped down the bass clef and I don't know why. Yeah, then we have these long kind of transitionary things. At measure 170, Medtner puts phrase 3 from theme 1 and phrase 1 from theme 1 together. So phrase 3 is in the right hand, phrase 1 is in the left hand. They both start with repeated notes, and then they're just inversions of each other. So it fits nicely. Start, I have to turn the page. Sorry. Okay, A major. Then the same phrase, they're both on phrase 3 then. And then he passes those for a little while. Theme 3 does come back. It comes back at measure 179 in the right hand. You can hear it. Measure 179. Yes, and then the left hand kind of takes it. Let's see. 188, 189, the phrase phrase 2 from theme 1 comes back. At 191 we get the climax of the development, and it's, if you look at the right hand part, it's clearly outlining a C minor triads and triplets. So yeah, that. And then in the left hand, the middle of the left hand, if you look at the score, the middle of the left hand we have, it's emphasizing C minor, but the bottom portion of it is in the polar opposite key, F sharp minor. So we have this C minor stuff, and then this underneath it. It's pretty dark. It's cool. And then that's the climax of it. It gets louder and crazier. And then at 203 we get the recapitulation. And let me turn this page and make sure I'm not looking at my notes. Yeah, looks like we're good so far. So measure 203 is the recap, and it states theme 1 in its entirety all over again. And then at measure 236, where it says poco meno mosso, the quasi cadenza, it says quasi cadenza, but it's just a fully written out cadenza, basically. And it kind of starts, like it's going to be in D flat major, theme 1 again, with the repeated note, but then it stops and we have a whole bunch of arpeggios and a whole bunch of 2 against 3. We do have the themes in this cadenza. If you look at measure 239, 40, 41, 241, phrase 1, we have just the repeated note kind of motive. If you, in the top of the triplets, B double flat, and then D flat. We have chromaticism going on in the left hand starting at 239. We have the F in the bass of the D flat arpeggios. And then we go to G flat, so F to G flat. And then G, A flat. So a lot of chromaticism throughout this, a lot of 2 against 3 again. 251, the chromaticism is increased, it's between the left hand and the right hand, as the left hand goes from E flat, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, while the right hand in the triplet portions on the top, you can see starting at 251, beat 3, you have the B flat, A, and it's clearly chromatic, even though I'm not playing very well. At measure 254, 255, in the left hand we get phrase 2, but augmented. So usually it's ba da da, 8 notes, and then a quarter. This time we have whole quarter notes. Left hand there, and also bits of it it can be found in the right hand at measure 259 in the quarter note triplets, the quarter triplets. If you look at just the top of it, we have so I mean, you can hear it, that's in rhythm, but if you play it in the rhythm of phrase 2, you can hear how it keeps going, and that is taken throughout. And then at measure 263, again we get an augmented phrase 2 from theme 1 in the right hand top. Yes, that was correct. And with chromaticism in the bass underneath that, starting with the that F sharp in measure 264, and then F. And it goes all the way down to D flat, and guess what's over top of the D flat? That G7 chord. Or I guess it's... So essentially we get, that. An augmented 6th again, and then that sparks the coda, which starts in C minor. And it's very chromatic. If you listen to the right hand, the bottom of the triplets, lot of 3 against 2s. And once again, chromaticism once again at 285. Between the left hand and the right hand, we have right hand E flat, left hand G. And then the left hand goes up to G sharp. Almost done. At the very end, I just want to point out the very last instance that we hear the theme 1, phrase 1 is at the very end, but this time he spreads it all over the keyboard. So we have, it's usually just repeated, C. Do, re, ti, do, and then, but this time we get measure 302, we get the C down here. And then we get a C up an octave, C up an octave, and then up another octave, and then he stays there. And then we get some little at the end. So yeah, that's Sonata Tragica. And I tragically played it. I'm sorry. I didn't practice this. It's tough. It's hard. So just to kind of sum up, Medtner creates a cycle throughout the entire thing of Opus 39 with shared themes and using similar devices between different themes so that when the themes are broken down, it's almost hard to tell which theme is actually being used in those tiny pieces. All 5 pieces share chromaticism and the 2 against 3 rhythms and that kind of short, long rhythm. Yes, that's all. Thank you for your time.